Okay, welcome to the news, Thursday, the 24th of September. Okay, here, look, Koch's postulates. Do you know what they are? Have you looked into it? Have you seen any relationship between this and what's going on with the current, pandemic? Well, let's just play this video for a sec.
100 sheep or 100 people with the same disease, and you identify an organism that's the same in all of those 100 people, right? Here's a way to think about this. I came up with this last night. If you had a disease called swollen thumb syndrome, and so 100 people with swollen thumb, and you ask them, what happened to you? And they said, I don't know, somebody came along and bashed my thumb with a hammer, all 100 of them. Mm-hmm. So that turns out not proof. So you go to the next 100 people who don't have a swollen thumb, and you say, did any of you get bashed with a hammer? No, none of us. So that's postulate number 2. No people who are healthy have that organism, right? Because if they have it, then why didn't it make them sick? That's still not proof. Then he said, you have to take the organism from the sick people, isolate it, purify it, give it to the unhealthy people, and if they get sick, you prove causation. In other words, you take the hammer, bash 100 healthy people, and if they all get a swollen thumb, that's how human beings understand causation.
So the reason why I put this up, this is a really interesting interview that I watched with Thomas Cowan, Dr. Thomas Cowan, on the Valuetainment YouTube channel. So Patrick Bet David. And what was really interesting was that Patrick's always asking him, look, break it down, make it easy, make it so, a 6-year-old could understand what you're saying. And Thomas did his best to do that over a number of subjects. And the reason I'm mentioning this is that he has a book coming out at the end of the month called The Contagion Myth, Why Viruses, including coronavirus, are not the cause of disease. And when you actually listen to this, that was the reason why I started to listen to the interview. Then he kind of moved on to some other interesting subjects because Patrick was asking him about, they kind of moved off subject and was asking him about testosterone. He said a lot of guys are taking testosterone as they get older. And Dr. Cowan said that, he goes, one of the reasons people's testosterone levels drop is because their health is so poor, i.e. they're not supplying the nourishment that they need for their joints, for their muscles, for their body, for their organs. The stuff they're feeding themselves is such, rubbish that the body's become so weak. So the body naturally lowers the testosterone levels because if the testosterone levels were higher, the person could damage themselves more. Which is a really interesting way of looking at things and what he's saying is the people that he's treated, he said, look, we're not going to give you testosterone therapy. What we're going to do is we're going to resolve the underlying health issues. We're going to sort out your hydration. We're going to sort out your nutrition. We're going to reduce the amount of poisons, in your environment, I suppose, for want of a better word, detoxing your environment, making sure that you're optimizing all your nutritional pillars, as it were. And he said, then the people he's treated, then what happens is gradually the testosterone level rises. And it's funny because Patrick kind of didn't really get that at first. And, but it's a really interesting interview. But what was then interesting, even though, he spoke about his book that's coming out a little bit, at the end of the presentation, right around here, literally 1 hour, 26 minutes. Patrick is hounding him. He's going, come on, just give me something. Tell me something I can take, something that's going to support my virility. Because he was talking about, the sales of Viagra, the billions of dollars that are spent on Viagra. He's going, come and tell me something. And interestingly enough, Thomas Cowan he's like, look, I don't want this to turn into like a product pitch. He said, there is something that I recommend to my clients. He said, but I don't want this to turn into a product pitch. Patrick's like, come on, just tell me what it is. Come on, tell me. There's loads of people out there. So he mentions a particular formula that's based on buffalo testicle. right, as the foundation of the formula. Buffalo or beef testicle. And what was interesting is that he said that you can find it on my website. And then if you flick over to the Aggressive Health website, you can find the formula here. Male optimization from Ancestral Supplements. Now, this is out of stock at the moment, but it's on its way in. Should be here within the next 10 days. I haven't used it before. But you can see here, grass-fed testicle, 1,200 milligrams. Now, you might be thinking, well, this sounds crazy, but look at this research. Okay, done in Scotland. Radioisotope labeling studies in animals have shown conclusively that when eaten, organs and glands selectively travel to the corresponding organs and glands in high concentrations. This research done at the University of Scotland in Edinburgh lends credence to the ancient practice of eating animal organs to help ensure health in one's corresponding organs. So I found that really interesting because, there's a lot of people now in the ketogenic movement, the paleo movement, even carnivores who talk about consuming nose to tail. So as well as eating the meat of the animal, they will eat the organs of the animal. So then the question becomes, you want to make sure, the source of the animals, are they grass-fed? Are they treated well? All that kind of thing. And there'll be a lot of vegans and vegetarians that be horrified by this information. But nonetheless, there are a lot of people, this is the thing about opening your mind to subjects. It's like there's a lot of people that are doing this, that are looking good, feeling good, and report great benefits. So is it for everyone? Nothing's for everyone. But if you're somebody that, have maybe been, for want of a better term, sold down the river by someone's particular, health plan, and, you've read testimonials and you've thought, yeah, that plan's for me, and then you do it and it doesn't quite, fulfill the dreams and the desires that you had, then it's always worth keeping your mind open to other options. And, glandulars is something that we've never really focused on in the Aggressive Health shop. A lot of the extras, sort of nutritional hormonal support, I suspect, you could say comes from like tonic herbs and the Chinese system. But a lot of the Chinese system is also based around, some of the principles that I've just mentioned in the research there. So it's kind of interesting. When you listen to Dr. Cowan's story, he started off medical doctor and was looking and doing, he talks about vaccines as well. And he talks about a horrifying story of when, he saw a child die from I think it was I can't remember which vaccine it was now, DDT, something like that. And yeah, you listen to his story, listen to this presentation. Really, really fascinating. So that would be my recommendation of the day. If you want to watch something tonight, is go to Valuetainment. And you'll see here it was on 18th of September 2020, and it's called Contagion, Myth and Unconventional Ways to Treat Viruses. And some really fascinating. This is the other thing. Because the technological age has moved so rapidly, we've all got this wonderful, advanced technology. I think some people assume that with all of this technology that, our minds have evolved at the same pace. And the models that we're using, or the models that are being used in medicine and even in the alternative health world, some of them are just so locked in that people haven't looked at other options. And some of the tests and the studies that Thomas Cowan discusses, they're fascinating. So I would I'd definitely recommend that you watch this. As for what other news have we got going on, we have got the Lionheart Herbs competition. Now, here's an interesting one. In our last competition, our Vimagey competition, we had a lot of entries. So far, in the Lionheart Herbs competition, we haven't had that many entries. It might be because I haven't emailed out to my customers about it just yet. So if you want an increased chance of winning, this would be the time to enter, because there isn't actually that many people. And we've also given, not only we're giving away £100 worth of Lionheart Herbs products, but we've also got another little bonus we're adding in as well. So if you do win, our winners always get a little something extra. Like the Vimergy winner, they got more than £100 worth of products. Same with the Living Libations winner. They got about £120 worth of products, but we stick £100 in just because, we can't give an exact number, but we always give a little bit more to the winner than we advertise. So that's pretty much it. Lionheart Herbs competition is going on. Still got a discount code on Vimergy. Funnily enough, believe it or not, many people haven't used that discount code. Kind of baffles me, but here we are telling people about it. And that is the news of the day.